We absolutely let everyone know that we had a false start, and it was Jaden this time. Jaden, what happened back there, buddy?
Sorry, mate. There's a lot of buttons back here I need to press, and I just forgot to press one.
Of course, this is the Four-Wheel Drive podcast powered by Tyrepower, and Jaden's actually been sitting in your chair a bit, Ronny, so maybe he's a little bit unfamiliar with just what it is back there.
Yeah, confused on what's going on here.
I think maybe what's out the front might have rattled everyone a little bit.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you touched on it now because while it's fresh in our minds, and I don't want to slip up later in the podcast, explain to the Four-Wheel Drive podcast crew. Actually, don't explain nothing because that's just going to give it away. Let me explain what's going on. So we started an hour late today from when we were meant to. Ronny was running a bit late, which is okay. That's fine. Let us know. So it was all good.
On purpose, so you wouldn't be at the front. See what I pull
Yes. Then now that makes a lot of sense. And then continues to run into the studio here, being filmed. So like all of a sudden, Jaden and I are standing there, and we're like, "Oh, we're on. What's going on?" Anyway, surprise out the front of the studio. Wanted to get a bit of a reaction. And I'm going to be honest, it was not what I was expecting. And I know we can't say anything just yet because this is going to come out before the grand reveal.
Yep.
But still mind blown, Jaden, eh?
Yeah, rattled, mate. Going out there, did not expect to see what I saw. And Ronny, I think that's exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a great thing. Unreal thing.
I've actually been thinking like last week before I even picked it up. How should I do this? I was like, nah, I can't keep it from the boys. You know, I'm just going to drive it in.
I just can't wait to see how the Kia Tasman go. Oh,
oh,
slipped up.
mate,
No, I'm joking.
I'm going to have to cut that out.
It's not that.
Or is
Speaking
it?
of, though, can we get one of them?
You've narrowed it down now.
I think that would have been a real shock to the system. That one, probably you would have got a more shocking reaction to that than what you've actually brought in today.
You reckon?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I don't think it would have rattled you as much though, Duggo.
Oh no, but have you seen the new Kia Tasman advertisement? They've gone again and they've nailed it again.
No.
Got the heavy hitters back in, new setup.
A V8 sound?
I don't know if they were driving it in this one. That's my only knock on this, on the Kia Tasman.
I guarantee you, Tasman will not sound like that.
No, that will not. But I'm a little bit for the Kia Tasman at the moment.
Yeah,
still.
okay.
But anyway, we got a podcast to get going here. I want to push our new YouTube channel. So the Four-Wheel Drive podcast is the new YouTube channel. We'll be no longer displaying all of our podcast visually on BackChat's YouTube channel. So if you want to look at us and listen to us, get over to the 4WD podcast YouTube channel. That's where everything will be getting put over to. So we're slowly transitioning away from the BackChat platform on YouTube. Make sure you get over there so you get to see all the great things that we're doing and get to look at Ronny and I. How good is that? So
I'm heading over now.
yeah, get over there, mate. It's hard to find. Have we fixed that up, Jaden? Because I've actually had a few people say to me they can't find it.
If you look in the description of this YouTube video that you're watching right now, or if you're listening, it'll be in the description of Spotify, but it's www.youtube.com/the little @ symbol, the 4WD podcast.
Just search Four Drive Podcast.
Is it coming up the actual
Yeah.
channel? Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
Good,
brilliant.
Four Drive.
That's great.
Oh, no, it comes at BackChat
Yeah,
Studios.
yeah. So you might have to follow Jaden's early. Why is that?
It's just a small channel at the moment, mate.
Oh, okay. So we've got to grow before
We've
we
got
get
to grow.
that to
We've
that
got to
stage.
grow.
Yeah,
Get behind us because people are finding it hard to find us.
That's it there, right?
That's
Yeah.
us.
That's it,
That's
mate.
us. Well
you
done.
got it.
There
All
we
right,
go.
Look,
Just
look
do
in
what
the
Ronny
comments.
did.
There'll be a link down there. I'll put that in the YouTube
Yep.
video. Head over there. Actually,
I am subscriber number 145.
Good number.
good number.
Good number. And it's still the Southern River Band with Let It Ride. We're still the 4WD on Instagram. Our patrons, we're still.
Are you still Duggo or are you Liam now?
I'm still. I'm actually. I can chop and change depending
Yeah,
on how I feel.
and you do.
And I do.
And-
Patreon.com/4WD podcast. Ronny may feel generous and give you a little scoop later on. So if you want any of that, get across there.
I'll drop a hint.
You drop a hint?
Yeah.
Love it.
I'll
And the
drop a hint.
4WDpodcast.com.au is everything still there. The only thing that's different is the YouTube channel.
Correct. And little bit more housekeeping.
Ooh.
Patreon. If you're a member of Patreon, go and look in the Patreon page. There's a post that went up last week that if you're a member of Patreon, you will need to see. So go and look at that. There's some changes coming. Patreon members, please look.
Are we still doing a nude photo shoot for Patreon?
Jeez.
All right. Don't look at the post. Ronnie just ruined it.
Mate, why don't we, if we get 100 new Patreons in 100 days, Ronnie does a nude photo shoot.
I think Duggo does a nude photo shoot, mate. You can't just throw Ronnie under the bus for your idea.
There's a good reason I'm not getting my kid off, mate.
It might get me back to the gym. I've been a bit lazy lately.
Winter not being good for me, if you know what I mean.
Come on.
Can I?
What are we here?
Let's get on channel. On the radar, I want to touch on this quickly. We're a bit late to the party. We dropped obviously Callum Jamison's episode last week, Ronnie, which was a great chat. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. I reckon I could have got more. Like Jamo's got plenty to share. I reflect on my own interviewing skills. I don't think they were great. But yeah,
you did a good job, mate.
Good fun to have him on. He's got heaps too. Like he's such an outdoorsman, and he loves it. But
yeah, I've got to have a look at that episode. I saw some of the short stuff coming out.
Yeah,
you will really like Bo Allen's episode.
Yeah,
Ronnie.
you actually like Bo's. You'll love Bowie's setup of his car. He's done it great.
Cool.
Yeah. You like Bowie and his car, and you like Jamo with his wagon setup. I might give you a couple ideas for the back of your 76. Back of you.
Back of my Kia Tasman wagon.
Canopy.
There we go again. I've got more editing.
So late to the party, where Ford Ranger Super Duty prices is what I want to look at. So just really quickly, because we've spoken a little bit about them and we didn't have a lot of info when we spoke about them. One, the first time. Two, Jade and I were unprepared the second time. The third time, we've got some pricing out. So the single cab in Australia will start from $82,990, the super cab $84,990, and the double cab or dual cab $86,990. I just want to get your boys' thoughts because for me, that is very competitive now for what becomes. So you've got the 3-litre V6 turbo diesel engine. It's a 10-speed automatic. Obviously, it's a 4-wheel drive. Towing capacity up to 4.5.
Yeah.
Like it's.
These are quite wide though, yeah?
The stance, I don't know. I haven't got that here in front of me, so I don't want to guess. But basically, it's doing everything that these American trucks.
Yeah,
do
so
off the
it's
factory
basically
floor.
an F-150.
Well,
250?
in terms of towing capacity and
Yeah.
GVM and all that, and the payload, well, like all this is for $86,990 in the dual cab. Like instead of paying $150 for a Dodge Ram, like I think it's
Or spending a
way
lot of money on the smaller dual cabs to make them do that.
Yeah. And it is wider, so it's got a track width of 1,710 millimeters, 1.7 meters.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
and 299 mils of ground clearance.
so because I'm not really on top of this car, you've got a photo?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
So is it like... yeah, okay. So it's pretty much still a Ranger.
Yeah, it's very much a Ranger. Like, it looks like a Ranger.
But it's bigger.
It's... Yeah, it is, but it's not like...
Not like
It's not like
bigger.
you're looking at an F-150. That's the thing. Like it's heavier gear.
So how long is it?
Let's
Anyone have a
look.
length? And wheelbase.
Have you got that, Jaden?
I'm just having a look through it now.
As well.
There's a lot of info.
So basically, why everyone's so excited about it is because
The way where it's priced.
where it's priced, and it's not as big as these American trucks. Either.
Yeah.
Like it's very much looking at a Ranger. So wheelbase is approximately 3.7. So maybe it is a little bit bigger.
Well,
Overall length's
that's
5.9.
3.7 is the wheelbase.
That can't be right. So that might be the.
Yeah,
No, that can't be, can it?
between the... Holy shit.
Comparison to the other.
3.7.
So the Ranger Raptor has a wheelbase of around 3.2.
Yeah. That's huge. That's actually longer
So
than
it's
the Stretch 79.
It's a 5.9. It's 5.9 meters long. The Ranger Raptor is 5.4 meters long. So it is. It's
Yeah. And so how wide is a Ranger compared to that?
ooh.
All the questions here.
No, that's good.
I'm so not on top
Nah,
of this.
that's fine. I didn't come that prepared.
So Ford Ranger is between 1.8 meters and 2.02 meters width.
Okay, so the Ranger is...
I've got the Ranger here. Did you just say 1.86?
1.85 to
yeah.
2 meters wide. depending on what model you get.
That's a big
What
difference.
variant?
And what about this one?
What did I say this one was?
So 2.
Yeah.
2. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2.1, right?
Yeah, I've got just under that, but
Yeah, that is significantly wider.
I don't know if they've released the official width dimensions. But anyway,
For the Super Duty?
yeah,
Yeah, it's... No.
Unreleased.
It's got a track width of 1.7.
anyway,
Yeah. So what is the
But
Land
yeah,
Cruiser
it's
track width, though?
advertising as wider and higher.
I should know that off the top of my head, but I don't.
I probably should too.
The Land Cruiser track width. Because that should be fairly narrow.
Are you talking 70 series?
Yeah, 70 series. Because
Track width for the 70 series is 1,790 mil to 1,870 mil, depending on
which axle.
Exactly, exactly right, mate.
Ah, yeah, okay.
So basically, though, why
So
I brought
pretty
it up
similar.
is at this price range, at this comfortability of the Ford Ranger, affordability of the Ranger, it's still not a Ram or a Silverado or a Tundra.
It's in
not
between.
It's an in betweener.
But with a massive wheelbase.
Yeah,
And it's really long too.
yeah,
Like it's really long. So that's with a tub, right?
but that's with the tub.
It's
Yeah,
5.9 meters. That's pretty much 6 meters.
yeah,
With a tub.
Well, actually, this is interesting. The Ford Ranger, not the Super Duty, but the Ford Ranger is marked as 1,710 millimeters in front and rear track width. But the Super Duty is also got the same track width.
Right. So they just extended the chassis.
I mean, they're saying it's wider and higher.
Yeah, the body probably is.
Yeah.
But they're probably using
The
the
track
same.
width is the same.
Oh, yeah, okay. So using the same axles and stuff.
Potentially,
Interesting.
I'm struggling to find like an actual
front and rear locking.
page.
It's got
With
it's
some
got a fully sealed
stats and stuff on
snorkel
it.
dual. It's coming with all this too. Is the other thing.
Yeah. With a wheelbase that long, you're going to need it.
Yeah, but I think for me, it's like
Hey, if you're buying it for towing,
it's half the price
it's-
of a
Yeah. And
new Dodge Ram.
And if you're buying for towing, a longer vehicle is better for towing. So it's going to have a really good. It's going to be planted quite well on the road, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
This is going to be one of the all-time tradie cars.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Well, this is just
That's what
gonna
I'm
be-
thinking. Like I know there's already there's fleet orders and stuff on these. I'm pretty sure that are like
Yeah.
it's going to be a big. I think it's going to be a big player.
I think it's a smart commercial move.
100%.
4.5 kilo GVM. 4.5 ton GVM.
Yeah, it's
So
4.5 kilo.
is it 4,499 or is it 4,500?
It says 4,500.
Okay, so that's you need like a light truck license to drive that one.
it'll be 4,495. I reckon. I don't think you
To
need
get
a
a
truck
C-class.
license. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
won't be a truck
Yeah,
license.
it won't be a truck license.
If you tow though, it'll go over.
Do you need the GCM's 8? So we be fine with a.
I think you do need for 8 ton. I think I'm not 100%
It'll
sure.
be 7.
Yeah, well,
My license should
9.5.
say.
The light rigid is vehicles with a GVM between 4.5 to 8 ton capacity for more than 12
But what about a
passengers.
GCM?
Yeah, GCM I haven't got anything for
So
a
maybe
license on a
GCM doesn't have it
GCM.
then.
I reckon that's the reason why
It
Ford
just
have done this. I
Looks
don't
like it
think,
goes off
I
GVM.
don't think it'll be a truck license.
No, there's no way it'll be a
Even
truck
a tow.
license. It wouldn't be a truck license.
They wouldn't do it.
Nah.
But yeah, okay.
wouldn't
so
make
it'll have
sense.
to be just under.
Yeah,
4.5
it'll
ton.
be 5 kilos under. I reckon.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'd just be like pushing the F-150s harder.
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
but they don't sell Australian made like Australian market.
F-250s, sorry.
'Cause
Yeah,
they'll,
yeah, you're
they all
right.
go to Walkinshaw, don't they, and they get converted.
Yeah.
So maybe what they're going to do when you go in and you go to buy it, it's like, okay, do you have a light truck license? And if the answer is no, okay, well then it's 4,499, and your rego and your stamp duty is going to be fucking huge. But if you do have a light truck license, which is so easy to get, it will then be you'll then be able to drive it, obviously, with the higher GVM, but your stamp duty would be far less.
Yeah, so the C-Class license can is for vehicles with a GVM not greater than 4,500 kilos. So if it's bang on 4,500, you might be completely
Okay.
fine.
That answers the question. And
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. I thought 4.5 was the cutoff.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's just can't be greater than 4.5.
Maybe we park it because we're probably finding out information on the fly here.
I think that's okay though. Like,
yeah. But I'm just sort of saying like
we might be answering any questions that come up.
well, those listening, like, let us know what your thoughts are on it because I'm all for it. I reckon it's awesome. Like by the time I'm back into looking for a new car, which is hopefully a long way away, but like it I don't know.
Yeah.
By that time, maybe I'm doing a lap of Australia with a caravan, and it's like,
Yeah.
I want a bit more comfort, and I'm sitting in anyway.
There's definitely another car that's entered the chat room of carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah,
But that's definitely going to its capability off road. It'll be the wrong car. 'Cause
Yeah.
it'll be so friggin' long, and it's still IFS on the front, right?
Yeah. There's not many people pushing their American trucks too hard off road. There are some doing it, but they're spending so much on these builds to make sure it's ready to go off road.
And it's also, in some cases, it's a wrong car to use for that.
Yeah,
But in other cases, if it's just every now and then, you're going to want to check things out. It's fine. But there are some tracks speaking of the Canning Stock route, there was one track we were driving down. I was like, wow, I'm in a skinny 70 series. We all were. And the 78 series, the paintwork on that, fuck, it's going to need a polish. It'll come out, but it needs a polish.
yeah.
That PPF got tested out big time. I was just thinking, if you took a wider car down there, even a Y62 Patrol or the Prado will be fucking screwed, man.
Yeah, right. Was that on the main track?
Yeah, well, because so it does peel off every now and then. And where it peeled off at one point, because we I don't know if we're talking about that today, the whole Salt Lake situation.
We are. This is a beautiful segue because I want to get to it.
Well, just quickly, I was slightly wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
To interrupt. The 1710 track width is matching the Raptor, the Ranger Raptor. So this is 90 mil wider than the rest of the Ranger lineup. So everything that's not a Raptor is 1620 with a track width. So the Super Duty will match the Raptor in track width. So it'll be 90 mil wider than every other Ranger.
Okay. That's going to make more sense.
Yeah.
now.
Sorry, just came across that and I thought that's where I've gone wrong.
Yeah. So that and that'll just be basic out to the flares, right? So when people start increasing the tyre size on these things, they're going to be pretty wide then.
Yeah, very wide. I think it's cool.
And
I
also
think it's
very
very cool. Yeah, I'd definitely be looking at getting something like this if I was a tradie carrying around a lot of weight and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. Go back.
But speaking of which, something like that on a tight track,
yeah,
man, like
But
taking
this-
corners and stuff, holy shit.
but this is perfect for like tradies who are carrying around like a lot of weight and all that kind of stuff. Like people who are towing a caravan and don't want to spend bulk money on a American truck. Farmers potentially.
100%, man.
People living down in like areas like Harvey, like anything like that, where you've got like a lot of equipment that you're trying to carry around that you want to use as, both a equipment towing.
Or have a massive toolbox on the back
exactly,
of it.
massive toolbox, and then you want to use it for caravanning and camping around and overlanding type stuff instead of more forward driving.
Yeah.
It's probably not a forward driver's car.
So picture that 5.9 meters, and that's with a tub. So if you went a tray on that, and then you did a canopy, holy shit, it'd be like the ultimate jiffy van.
It's
The lunchbox,
it'll be a big unit.
the pencil,
unit.
the pencil lunchbox, the pencil case,
The pencil case.
the pencil case.
All right. Sorry, mate. Back to the bogging.
Oh, back to the bogging. Yeah, well, so as I was saying before, the track does split. The main canning does split 2, 3, perhaps 4 times. You can actually see it on the map. Is that even on the old maps? It's drawn there, but one of those lines is not used as much as the other. So the one that follows the wells, most people use because they want to go to all the wells. But the other one, that was like a 20 kilometer per hour, and for like 200 and something kilometers. It took forever, man. And you couldn't drive too fast because the mirrors, they're constantly in. You can't see behind you because, imagine all the stuff you got stacked up in the back.
Yeah.
Can't see the mirrors. You're sitting there for a bit. You're wondering where they are. And then you might see some extra light. You might not. That's how thick the bush was. It's all that acacia stuff. It just, yeah, pretty hard on the car.
Yeah. I just can't picture it being like that out there,
Yeah. So so any offshoot there would either be super tall spin effects, so you can kind of gauge what the track would look like if you're the first one to go through.
Yep.
And you can also see how dense it gets. Now, towards the end of the canning, it got really dense no matter what. It was on that one track.
Yeah, right.
And it was a little bit daunting driving it during the daytime because it's quite windy. You can't see anything. We didn't have any flags on our cars either.
Yep.
And you couldn't see the flags there anyway. And the flags would have snapped off in that section. So that's more used on the sand dunes.
Yep.
So without getting off track on getting into my little whinge about flags, maybe we get to that bogging.
Yes. Yeah, let's talk, because we didn't talk much about the recoveries, and we probably gave a bit of a nicer overview.
I didn't even let into
canning,
a little bit,
let us know what shit happened out there.
Yeah, well, so the early days when we started, we're talking like 18 days here. So at the start of the trip, we were hit with a lot of information about a big weather event coming through. And they were talking 100 mil, then 200 mil. And then Rafa had access to their Facebook page because he was a member.
Yep.
And you know what it's like on Facebook. It's like a forum. To me it's comical because people really exaggerate the problem or something. And I was just reading, they're just people saying, what would they know? And then someone shows me, but this is what the Weather Bureau says. And I was like, what do they know?
Study it for 10 years. What do they know?
Turns out they know a bit of stuff.
They know something.
So a lot of rain was dumped further north. So people got stuck in Broome, etc. But that was as we got closer and closer to the community, Coonawarra. And Coonawarra was at the point where we had to make a decision. Do we keep going or do we head out? So with the information we had, we decided, we can go to a certain point, and at that point, if we discover that we can't get across, we have enough fuel to come back, and at least we tried it, because I don't want to give up without trying. We can always stop when it becomes obvious that, hey, now we're actually putting ourselves at risk.
Yep.
So at this stage, we didn't feel like we're putting ourselves at risk, but the trip was at risk because I really wanted to complete it. Had I gone home without completing that, I would have felt incomplete.
Yeah.
So after we hung out with the guys at the community, which was really cool, cooked some kangaroo tail and hung out, had some good chats. I chatted to the elder as well, Mookie. We spoke about it last time, so I'll move on from that. So we finished up there, and then we refueled. Missed out on this is pretty vital if we get to that part of the story, but it's pretty vital that we got lost in time, with the Rangers, and by the time we realised, oh crap, the shop closed half an hour ago, we couldn't get the extra stuff that we wanted because we had bought heaps of water and stuff, but I wanted to just get a bit more just in case, because some of the wells we saw, they weren't so good, drinkable. Anyway, that wasn't to be, so we continued on with what was extremely corrugated, probably the worst corrugation I'd ever been on. It was that corrugated, we had to just slow down and check our shocks. And the shocks, all of them were like hot. So we slowed right down. For about an hour and a half, 2 hours, driving really slow. Just ga-dunk, 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 like that slow. And cool the shocks down, all good, because had we kept doing that, had we not checked, someone would have blown a shock.
So you were actually you were feeling the shocks.
Yeah, we couldn't hold our hand on it.
Yeah, right.
That's how hot they were
Yep.
getting. So you could have your hand on it for maybe 3 seconds.
Yep.
And then your hand's like, oof, that's too hot. Yeah, you got to like just let it cool down.
Yep.
I mean, I could tolerate a bit, but not too much.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you like put your hand on it and it's like you got to take it off straight away, I think it's too late.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
So
gauge.
to let them cool down, you just back off the speed or completely stop.
You back off the speed
Yep.
or you completely stop. We did
So either
completely
or.
stop.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I like to shake the car. Now, I don't know if that helps. It probably does to a degree because you would be moving the oil around quite
Yep.
a bit, like big movements where like you grab the roof and you just heave it. So you're rocking the whole car. So the person's size is going
Yeah.
like that.
So why is that though? Why would you do that?
Because then I'll let the car go and then I'll see how much it's rocking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you'll be able to tell, like you'll be able to tell how hot your shocks are without even touching them by doing that. Or you can also tell if your shocks are fading.
Right.
So when we finish up this podcast, I'll shake your 79 and you'll see that it will only do like maybe 3 or 4
Yep.
rocks. But out there when they get hot, it can keep
It'll
going.
just keep bouncing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And if it keeps going, your shocks
Wobble it
are
off.
screwed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
The ride gets really shit too.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much shock absorbers, you don't realize how much they do until they start fading.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So we kept punching on that night. Now, because at Starlink, I come up with the idea of let's do a live feed, while we're driving. So
On your channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Oh, on Insta. Yeah, yeah.
But we
yeah.
did it a crossway. So Chris was live, I was live, Rafa was live, but Rafa kept dropping in and out because he had to pick up one of our Starlinks.
Yeah, right.
So it was really wishy-washy, and I kept missing the turns because we were starting to cross salt pans.
Yep.
And then Chris came up to all these where the road splits, and then the banter started. And of course, he's like, "Oh, should I go this way or should I go that way?" And I'm thinking in my head, why did you even start that? Because of course, anyone watching is going to say, "No, go that way."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want entertainment. So that's what he did. He went down a washed up track section, got bogged. So then I had to turn around.
This is Chris.
Yeah. I had to turn around. Me and Rafa had to pull him out live while we're also filming it,
Yeah.
but we're also filming live. It was chaotic, eh?
Did Rafa stay on too this whole time?
Yeah.
How'd you get him out if you had one hand on the camera, one hand?
Well, I handed my phone to Sienna,
Oh, of
so
course,
Sienna
yeah,
followed
Sienna,
around with
yeah.
the phone, and it was really weird.
What was he bogged in?
Just sand, like
Sand.
because it was so rutted. So
Yeah.
he just bellied out.
Just, yeah. Oh, right. Bellied out.
Simply
Yeah,
bellied
okay.
out. So he was straddling, so putting the ruts in between. But then because he's got skinny tires and with the offset wheel track, plonk.
Just, yeah. Chris is watching this. So I know we've said it a few times. I like how he's sticking with the skinny tyres though.
Yeah. Hey, look, he wants muddies now, but he's still
Go
saying
skinny
skinny
muddies.
tires.
Skinny
Skinny muddies. Yeah.
We
Oh
actually
my
got
God.
a message in with a suggestion
Good
for
on you.
Chris from Ben. He said, has Chris considered R16 285 55 for the Bloopy? I've had them in my 76 for 5 years in the KM3 BF Goodrich. No punctures, done the GBR, CSR, Kalumbaroo Road, Holland Track countless times, and plenty of others in between. I think they're a great hybrid between the pizza cutter skinnies that look good on a 70 and a more aggressive muddy. Less unsprung weight and stress on the drivetrain than a big muddy 2. Wear eyes have done approximately 60,000 kilometres and they're now scalloping pretty bad.
Did you say KM?
KM3.
It came through.
KM3 BF Goodriches.
Yeah, cool.
285 55s.
That's
you
a
go.
good size. That's a good skinny size. I think
Yeah.
you'd probably be after something around that size.
It might be a good little hybrid.
Yeah.
So
Look, he doesn't listen to me, so
maybe he'll listen to Ben.
he'll choose what he wants to choose.
Might be a good option for him.
Yeah. Oh man, like you wait till I get to this bogging part, and then he's still.
Yeah.
I don't know why he still wants skinny tires. He reckons muddy's going to save him. I'll help him a little bit, but oh man, it's cheese cutters.
I quite like that he's there though, and just sticking with it.
Yeah, that is cool.
I'm almost on Team Chris now about it. Like the stories that keep coming out, it's like, no, mate, just
Well, yeah, it's
just
good,
get
good
it.
entertainment.
But like, he's going for it, and he's just if he gets into trouble, he just gets out of trouble.
Well, he doesn't have to recover. He sits in the car, right? he needs. Someone needs to drive the car there.
Oh, it's good. It is good.
Oh man. So that was our first little experience with recovery, possibly a bit of a warm up to what was going to come. So I think that night we ended up at a place called Geraldton Bore, and that was good water. Filled up our water tanks. Then a few days later, we ended up at, what was it, well 42. Well 42.
Yep.
This is where it crosses, I think it was Gully Lake. So Gully Lake, that was the one that we weren't even worried about. The one before was what we were worried about. That was at 39 to 40.
Yep.
We crossed that. Even had like a Billy T with the holly leaf grevillea smashed up in it. Something that the Rangers taught us. You know, we could drink this stuff.
Yeah.
So we made this tea up, and then as a rite of passage, I passed the Billy can around. Everyone sort of drank out of it.
Yeah.
And I said, this will give us a rite of passage.
Tasty?
Yeah. It's nice. It's really nice. So we crossed the Salt Lake, and that was fine. It was a little bit of evidence of mud. That was it. So we were like, cool, this is awesome. But the further we headed north, the more you could tell on the terrain that there'd been rain.
Yep.
So the spinifex was getting greener. After we crossed that Salt Lake,
Yep.
one side spinifex yellow, other side green.
Right.
And what's interesting, that is where that's where the country changes as well.
Yeah, okay.
So
the salt just breaks up like
it's almost
one
like
landscape to another, basically.
Yeah. But it's like the two mobs change there.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, that's like territory lines.
So the Martu on this side.
Yep.
And then the other side, it's like the north,
More northern.
the more northern, and you
gotcha.
You start to get Kimberley vibes as well. Like it's like this slow transition into the Kimberley from the Pilbara to the Kimberley. It was really cool.
Yeah, right.
That because that you don't really get to experience on a highway unless you go through Nullagine and you go through those back roads.
Yep.
You don't really experience otherwise because you go the highway and then you're the coast, and then the coast takes you to Kimberley.
Yeah,
But here, when you go through the land, it's so different.
Yeah, okay.
It's really awesome. It's just the vegetation out there. It's just stuff that it almost feels like you're on a different planet.
Yeah,
Like, honestly, different planet
Yeah.
in some places. You could drive an hour, and all of a sudden there's trees you've never seen before, and there's just heaps of them. And then you get a bit further, and then no trees, but then there's like this bright green spinifex that almost looks radioactive.
Yeah,
you know? It's
right.
insane. Yeah. So we crossed that bit. So now we're in more like the wetter stages, and we get towards Gully Lake, and this is a number of days later, and we're at the start of this lake, and we're setting up shots, and we're kind of all relaxed. It's a bit late in the afternoon. There were some camels. We saw some wild horses. Try to get some shots of the wild horses. Didn't get those. But
How many wild horses are like in a group?
Probably about 8 to 12.
That's cool.
That was so far away.
I've only seen one group of wild horses before in my life in the NT.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
It's cool to see.
Yeah, it is cool to see. Hey, yeah, it's wicked to see because you see camels, right? But once you've seen camels a number of times, it's like because you can tell, right, the way they run.
Yeah. But like seeing a group of horses run is a bit different to seeing a group of camels.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Like,
yeah, and they're all different colours as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of another giveaway. Yeah.
Have you got photos of it?
I may have tried to take some photos. I had a drone up with the full zoom in lens.
Yep.
Probably got some really shitty photos of it.
Right.
But that's like because I saw something I got the drone to have a look, and it was like, yeah, that's horses.
Yeah,
but they're too far away.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So by the time we actually started to cross this Salt Lake, it was getting late, and Jacob had his drone up, and he was flying. He's like, yeah, there's nothing for miles. So I kept driving while they waited, because we just wanted to check it out, because this is where we need to decide if we're turning around or not. So kept driving in. And I got to the spot where it started to get a little bit wet, a little bit muddy, evidence of lots of dingo prints because, mud, dingo prints, they just stay there.
Yep.
Even in the sand, a lot of prints were staying there because it had rained. So it's like, picture like the bunker at a golf course when you rake it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just pristine. And you can see all the tracks so easy. So we got to a stage where there was two side steps, two ranger side steps. I recognised them. and they were put like this, almost like a gate. And to me, that was like, this feels like something I would do if my side steps got ripped off and I was going to leave it as a warning. And we did know of someone who got bogged there probably a week before through Facebook.
Yep.
Severely bogged. So, okay, cool. Put him to the side, kept going, got a bit muddy, still fine. And then I started hearing stuff about, there's heaps of water up ahead. No, it looks like it. And this escalated. No, it looks impassable, And I was looking, it doesn't feel like there'll be a lot of water.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to push on. So, and Sienna's like, Dad, they're trying to talk to you. I said, don't answer them. I said, I want to get there and then see that we can't pass it, because I'm not going to call it quits from looking from a drone, because I need to be there to see it, right? So I will go as far as I can before it gets too bad. Maybe a little bit, might seem a bit reckless, but I felt like I knew what I was doing.
It wasn't like you were just going to drive straight on through it when you got there.
Exactly.
Right.
I was going to walk it, because I thought, okay, sometimes when you see water, it's very deceiving. It's very shallow, and you can drive across it if you're really careful, if you walk it first. So, because we've done that numerous times. It's when you go off the track, you're screwed.
Yep.
Absolutely screwed. So we get closer, and then we get to a point where it's all rutted and stuff. And by this stage, it was getting a little bit heated on the radio as well. And I said, look, guys, I'm going to go there. And then we'll work out what we're going to do, because we don't have a story if I don't get there and I don't see it. I mean, how lame is it going to be? Oh, so we saw from the drone there was water and we're not going to go, and because the communication was breaking up a bit.
Yeah, started to get too far
extra
away.
frustration. Yeah. So I kept going. At this stage, Jacob had caught up with the drone. He was following me through. It's a really epic shot.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how bad how much the car was actually moving around. I was just focusing on where I had to go and not get stuck. So I kept going. I got to a point where it was like, okay, I can't reverse from here. But I've been hitting high points and then low, high and then low. There'll be another high point. I know it. So I'm going to lock everything here, because I could see this is where someone had got really badly bogged. So I lined the car up on an angle, because that's how the other tracks were. So rather than go across them.
Yeah.
So I just went with it, and I popped in and then popped out. And I was surprised how easy that was. I thought maybe it might take a little bit. Kept going.
Yep.
So now I'm twin locked, kept going, turned the lockers off, pick up a little bit of speed. We're talking like 15 k's per hour.
Yep.
That feels fast in this situation. Yeah. Kept going. And then I got to a point where I felt like I'm on the other side. But they're saying there's water. So am I on the other side? And I look back and I can see the lights, but they're distorted. The lights are distorted because I'm so freaking far away. But I can see them, they can't see me. So that tells me I'm really far away. So I'm trying to communicate. My signal's coming through to one of them, but Rafa's not hearing that. So Rafa keeps overpowering me, because he hears Chris's response to me or Jacob's response to me, but he doesn't know they're talking to me. They think they're talking to him.
Right.
So you had this freeway communication, and it was frustrating everyone. And I'm like, the sun's going down. Two dingoes, I forgot that part. Two dingoes were chasing us. So by the time we stopped, we had two dingoes right there. And Sienna's jumping out of the car. She's got a Jats biscuits. She's trying to feed them. I'm like, these are wild animals. Get back in the car.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get her in while I'm trying to talk, and then it was getting pretty fired up.
Yeah.
And down there was equal sort of, they didn't know like what's going on and what's he saying, because I'm like, get in the fucking car and start driving, because the sun's going down. I'm not going to recover you guys in the freaking dark, man. I've got to turn around. Just come. There's dingoes here. It was all going on, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Jacob did actually catch a dingo. He didn't know the dingoes were in the shot as well.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool shot. And then all of a sudden it's dark and they start driving. Well, sun was setting actually.
Yeah.
I just got to state that, because I had my drone up just before, because I flew it as far as I could with the telescopic lens to try and guide them through.
Yep.
because I said, look, you can go at certain speeds. When you get to here, you got to slow down. Funny thing is, when you look through a drone, it looks way faster than what it actually is. And so I got a bit more heated up because Rafa's driving the troopy.
Yep.
And the bloopy's behind, but what I'm seeing is the troopy's going twice the speed as the bloopy. And I'm like, Rafa, slow down. But he still can't hear me, right?
Still can't hear.
He still can't hear me.
Too far still?
Yeah. Well, because his antenna snapped off.
Ah,
right. So he's tied to the awning. So his comms that happened like a week earlier.
Yeah.
And it was shambles. And Chris had bad comms because when he stacks the swag on one side, it blocks all his comms, even with the antenna on the roof.
Yeah, okay.
So in some cases, it is better to have it on the bull bar, depending on what you do, right?
Yeah.
So all this is going on. So you can imagine like miscommunication, chaos. Starlink, we did manage to get a phone call between us at some point, and it's the only way I could get communication through because I had to ring Chris. Chris had to then relay my message for radio, and it ends up like Chinese whispers almost because what he's saying on the radio wasn't what I was saying on the phone. There's just so much going on, man. So you can imagine this chaotic scene, and then there's two dingoes, and then there's my daughter. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden I see through the drone, Rafa sliding off the track, goes down.
In the V8 troopy.
In the V8 troopy, goes down.
So the big heavy rig goes down. Yeah.
It's all traction, gone. Sliding off the edge, straight in. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then all I can see is like he's trying to get in and out and in and out, and then I see these big puffs of smoke and stuff, and I'm like, what's going on?
How far away are you at this time?
3 Ks.
Oh shit! Right. Yeah. Okay.
Right now I'm 3 Ks away.
Yeah. Wow.
Before would have been further. So you can imagine like yeah. And then my antenna was at perfect position, but theirs were the opposite side. So it was really hard to get those comms. But they eventually kind of got there.
Yeah.
The problem is when you got 2 cars right next to each other and you got one that's far away, even if you can hear that signal, all it takes is someone down here to talk and you're completely cut out because your signal's weak as, right? So that's what kept happening.
Right.
And it always happens when it's in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, no doubt.
When shit's going down, right? And everyone's got something to say, So he goes down, but then he manages to get himself out. Like,
just under.
Oh yeah, he got the max tracks out.
Oh right.
Puts them in.
Yeah.
Got himself out, and I was like, wow, Rafa the man.
Yeah.
Like I did not see that coming out. I thought, shit, that's the winch job.
Get yourself into trouble. Get yourself out of trouble.
Yeah. So he gets out, and then with that excitement and stuff, he keeps powering on. But I'm trying to say, watch out for this next bit.
Yeah.
But it's dark now, so he can't see it. So when your lights go across the track and it is just shadows.
Yeah.
So there could be like a small shadow before that looks as big as a big shadow coming up. Before you know it, boom, there's a hole.
Yeah.
You end up straight in the hole. And what I saw was this big boom, like this big like slam.
Yeah.
And then the wheels up and then down. So he fully hit this hole pretty hard. Because it's a heavy girl, that V8, with all the rooftop conversion and all that. And I'm just like, holy shit. So I'm flying the drone back now because it's dark.
Yep.
Not even supposed to have a drone up at this stage. So, because I had it up at sunset, flying it back. You can just see the twilight. Get it back, land it. Then I'm in the car and I'm like, how bad is it? Because I have to turn around and then it means I have to reverse all the way through all the other shit you guys haven't gone through yet.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, I've got to go there and do something. And we could start hearing dingoes howling
everywhere,
like 3 different places, and there was more and more and more.
It's a bit eerie, isn't it?
So the dingo population was getting bigger. I started walking around with a hatchet in one hand and like a welding glove in the other.
Right.
So welding glove is to take a bite, I was just thinking logically that'll work. And then with the axe, keep the sheath on. I don't want to kill it. Just want to get out of my way, just in case.
But if it got,
if it got
a sharp blow to the head.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
The next minute you got 8 on you.
Oh, yeah, but usually with
They'd probably you hit them once. They'd probably
if you hit,
actually I don't know. Anything
you have
about
to get the alpha
dingo.
dog though. If you
Do
don't,
ya?
yeah, if you don't get the alpha dog, then you got to focus on the alpha dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to figure out which is the alpha dog. You know,
Who's
which
the
one?
who do you reckon the dingoes were going after in your crew? Who is the alpha dog?
Well, they wouldn't be going for the alpha dog. They'll be going for
Oh, they could be going for the weakest. You reckon?
yeah. They'll be going for whoever they sense is mostly scared.
Yeah, right.
Because this is how it will go down: is if someone's by themselves, but they're like, if they're really frightened.
Yeah, you reckon they sense that?
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
They'll sense. They'll be able to smell it. you know?
Really?
There'll be some kind of scent
Smell
that
the
comes off.
shit
Yeah.
in your pants.
Then I'll start. Well, as soon as you start, if you run,
Game over.
game over.
Will they kill you?
Well, I guess they could.
Yeah, right.
They could. I'll start nipping first,
Yeah,
and then if you're like, and now you're down, now you're a freaking toy.
Yeah.
They'll just come in.
all on.
They'll be after food.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they want to feed. Yeah,
So if they figure out you don't have any food, they'll probably piss off.
Yeah.
But you just don't know.
Yeah,
Like
it's
my
crazy.
brother-in-law got chased at Exmouth. We used to be a pilot. There was two of them. They had to run, man, because there was like two dingoes chasing them. They just got on the other side of the gate at the Exmouth airport.
at the airport.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So it does happen.
Sorry.
So and then because the population it just increased, man. It was getting bigger
Yeah.
and bigger and bigger, and it sounded so awesome. Like Sienna Court is wicked. Like howl.
Yeah, right.
It was so awesome. So anyway, I turned the car around, go in there, knowing full well, shit, I'm gonna have to back out all this. Winch line comes out, 40 meters, 40, yeah, 50 meters. But then I drove a bit closer, and then 2 extension straps, full line out.
Wow.
Then we used Rafa's winch for that one actually. So on the troopy, we get him out. Cool, awesome. So he's now out. I had to put max tracks under the 76 because like it's so light. He was just pulling me.
Yeah, right.
So eventually got him out. It took quite a while. Max tracks. It took probably half an hour.
Just out of curiosity, are you as the winch vehicle? You're facing Rafa. Are you in park, foot on the brake?
Not in park.
Not in park.
I'm either in drive or neutral.
Yep.
But I was in neutral.
Yep.
Handbrake up, which does shit all
Neutral
anyway.
handbrake.
And then foot on the brake.
Brake. Yep.
And then you've got to let the car sort of take it in, and then your foot on the brake just goes almost all the way down.
Right.
Like there's that much pressure on it.
Okay.
And then like the line was like, ding, it was so much pressure on
Yeah.
it, man. That was probably the most pressure I had on the line for a while.
Yeah.
We ended up going a double line pull, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think we did a double line pull to get him out because, man, he was so stuck.
So double line pull, for those that don't know, is
The line
wintering
goes,
at the recovery vehicle.
Yeah.
At the vehicle you are recovering.
Yeah.
Back to the winch vehicle.
Yeah.
And it doubles the strength of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it slows it down to half the speed, but it almost doubles the pull.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there's a bit of friction loss.
Yep.
But it can only work because the car is pulling itself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't work as a double line. So it was hooked up to another one. It's just a single line. that
Yeah,
way.
yep,
yeah.
yep.
But it only works because it's hooked up to the same car that's pulling. So that's what it would require that to pull them out. So after a long time, we got them out, and then in between that, I had to walk backwards and forwards, and I'm like, Sienna, you stay here. I'm gonna go over here, and then the new guy, he was obviously wary of dingoes and
dogs,
stuff.
yeah.
It's funny because people who come camping for the first time, they don't have much. You forget they've had no experience with any kind of animal.
Yeah.
So I remember Jacob when he first started camping with us. He was shit scared of a fox.
Ah,
A
right.
fox came out at night.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like just a fox, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And like he laughs about it now, but at the time. So
Yeah.
imagine your first time ever, and now there's dingoes,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
seeing me like telling Sienna, don't be anywhere by yourself.
Yeah.
So he's seeing me like being like concerned parent kind of thing.
Yep.
And that would have played on him too. But it was good for him to know not to.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't go by yourself.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so him and Chris went out to get a long wide shot of both the cars. And Chris was telling me that Mark was like, "Don't leave me here, man." So no, I'm not going to leave you here. Be right. As long as there are like 2 people around, you're generally all right.
Yeah.
But what we noticed the dingoes were doing, you get 2 dingoes come around here. They'll get your attention. They'll come within the light, and then everyone's paying attention there. But behind you,
Stalking up.
that's where the whole pack is, man.
Yeah, right.
They're clever. They're clever little bastards. And wherever they're just playing around or whatever, they're practicing.
Yeah.
That's what they do to practice their hunting skills.
Crazy.
So it was. I was in my element. I loved it. You know?
You've captured all this, obviously.
Yeah. We captured as much as we could. We
Yeah.
definitely got some dingo footage.
Yeah.
Got some good howls. I haven't looked through all that footage yet, but I looked through some of it, and I reckon it's gonna like just the pure frustration and drama and banter and it's got everything in it. It's got everything in it. It's got
I look forward to seeing it now.
Yeah, like I was looking back on it, and like you see someone else's perspective, like you just end up watching the whole file back. It's like, oh shit, okay, so that's what,
Yeah.
And
Do we get Rafa out in the end?
yeah. So we get Rafa out, but now we got a bloopy.
The old cheese cutter.
We got the old cheese cutter. So by this stage, because now it's dark, the dampness, it's almost like the water is rising out of the ground. So everything was getting damper. You're walking, you're noticing the ground's getting more slippery.
Yep.
So conditions are getting worse. So the longer we're there, the longer it's going to take.
Yep.
So like the guy who got bogged there last time, I reckon he must have waited till the next day, middle of the day, was it in best time. He had 2 big piles of dirt where he was bogged. So we used those 2 piles of dirt after we pulled Rafa out, filled in that hole, ready for Chris to come. And then we went up to where we were going to head towards Chris. Now, I didn't give him instructions. No one gave him instructions. We couldn't find a radio in time. So I saw him start moving. I'm like, shit, who's got a radio? Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop. I want to get him on the right line. And then he drives like 3 meters.
Oh.
And like he wasn't even in the bad spot yet. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, okay, Rafa's took about an hour, maybe half hour to probably an hour actually, all the setup.
Yeah.
This is going to take us at least an hour or 2 to get him to here, where it's probably going to take longer again.
Oh.
So we went down there and literally because the moisture's come up and because he's got the skinny tires, they've actually just sunk in.
Yeah, like yeah,
because he was
just one with the mud.
He was just off the edge, man, just off the edge of the track, and you honestly wouldn't really be able to tell either.
Was there a better line to take in your mind? Like if you had have got him onto a deal, was it just inevitable? Didn't
even get an opportunity to really. Yeah. I had a bit of a rough plan, but I hadn't seen where he was yet, so I didn't even get to even contemplate that. Right. So now it's just about, because it's like if someone makes a mistake, the mistake's done. There's no need in banging on about it. Debrief afterwards. Right now, we focus on getting you out. Yeah, because otherwise you're just putting someone down for no, and debrief after. But the problem there was no one gave him an instruction, and he's like, well, they're probably waiting for me, so I'm going to go. And that's what happened. And this is what goes wrong in these recovery situations, There's a lot of stuff going on.
We've spoken about that before, haven't we? Like,
I
think even, was it on here? It may have been, it was with Chris when he was up in Shark Bay, maybe. And it was like, nah, just one person take control here because too many people, too many ideas. Shambles, you like, not that this was exactly the same, but you lose. Who's got a radio? We're all helping each other. There's dingoes going on. It's dark.
There's a lot of distractions.
Under pressure, like
a lot of distractions, mistakes.
Like, we haven't done a tough dog tip of the week, but I think that's almost like the perfect tough dog tip of the week. Is like in those situations, you need to keep your cool, and maybe who's in charge is the person that is able to do that the most. And not saying that no one had kept their cool in this situation, but it's like it's just a good reminder.
Yeah, definitely. And I think slow down.
Yeah,
just
great
just slow down, and then you're better off asking the question again. Than So
yeah.
it's
tough
easy.
dog tip of the week. Slow down. one person
Yeah.
is your leader, I reckon. Like you have one leader.
Yeah.
Everyone slows down. One leader. Ideas can come in, but
ideas,
someone's going to make a call.
suggestions can come in.
Yep.
But it's also good to if you have it, it's good to fall onto a second person if you're kind of like
Yeah.
get a bit tired as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because
share the load.
Yeah, share a load.
Good leaders delegate, they reckon.
Yeah, yeah. But if you delegate, make sure that you're not micromanaging as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think slow down is probably the best part.
Slow
Slow
down.
your thoughts down and just
Think about it. Absorb everyone's suggestions. Give them feedback if you think it's not the best idea and why, because that's where the conversation can get to. Oh, you meant like that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. Let's do that. You know, you never know. It can lead to something.
Yeah.
And in these situations, any stupid idea, sometimes the best idea.
Yeah.
Except for what I'm about to get to was a brilliant idea that turned out to bite us in the ass.
Right.
And so let's go back to Chris where he's stuck. So we finally get him up after 4 meters of like moving a max track, moving a max tracks, moving a max tracks, back again, moving a max tracks, just nudge forward, finally get the wheels out. Now we're like, yes, don't move. Now we're going to make Rainbow Road. And at this point is where I delegated to Rafa. So, because Rafa had this idea of, well, because we were like, I reckon we should keep him on this side. So the other side. But Rafa's like, no, but he's here. So I said, look, man, I'm happy for you to take this one. I want to be told what to do. I'll give you suggestions. You take it.
Yep.
I was like exhausted by this stage.
Yeah, right.
So we had this idea that we're going to drive him along the edge. So combining our ideas together. And I'm just going to keep an eye on that side. Rafa's going to direct. And then I can stop him when something's not looking right. Because there's not much light. So I had like these magnetic hardcore lights.
Oh, yeah.
And we had every light just magnetized to the body of Chris's car around the wheels so we can see everything. And it was a big team effort. So we're just slowly moving. Even Jacob was moving max tracks and filming. But I had to keep one camera guy just filming.
Yep.
You know, because someone needed energy to film, make sure you get all the shots. So we're slowly shifting the car. We get to a point where everyone just needs to have a break. I get the beef jerky out of the car, which I've been kind of keeping for a special occasion. I was like, everyone just eat this stuff, man. Just eat this stuff. And I don't know if that's what brought the dingoes back.
You smell the beef jerky.
Yeah, so now we've got another wave of dingoes, and we're all sort of scattered everywhere. So it's like, everyone just get on your roof. Everyone just get on the roof. And then...
really?
Yeah, and we just all got on the roof. I just stood on the back of the back of the 76. We stood there for a bit because it was really close. It was really loud, and they were like we couldn't really detect where they were because there was loud howl there, distant one there, and another one that's really close.
Yeah, right.
So and then we were up there and we like got the spotty shining around. It's like there's one there. There's two over there. You know, they're coming in again. You know, they was just like probably the beef jerky.
Maybe a piece of Ronny Dale and a piece of beef jerky. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. So after that wave of dingoes, we got back into work. Now we got Chris to the same spot that Rafa got to. And by now, that was probably an hour and a half that took to get Chris there.
So you're thinking, here's another hour. What we took Rafa.
Well, this is where we come up with ideas. So we're throwing ideas at each other. And so picture max tracks. You know, like when you have a cardboard box, you cut the tape and you want to close it. You know, you do the folding.
Yep.
So picture that folding. So you got one side that's half over this side, half over that, half over that. Yeah. So you get that kind of pretzel feel. I thought of the idea of let's do the max tracks like that. So we filled in more dirt, almost brought it level, put those max tracks on like that. I was jumping around on them to see what will happen. And cool, this feels really solid, but I know it's going to be a different story when that car gets on it. So we had a bit of a conversation, and the plan was for Chris to line up and then just give it a little bit, not too much, because I'd rather him not sink too far.
Yep.
That was the plan. Okay, lines the car up. Everyone's ready. And then all of a sudden, Chris just goes, woof, and then bang.
Car crash sort of scene.
It's pretty much like, it was hilarious. It was like, I was like, wow, okay. That's not quite what I meant. So I come around the other side and Jacob's like, holy shit, man. Like, cause he's like Chris's passenger, Chris's, you know, 2IC camera guy. He's like, did he even listen to what he said? So all this is caught. It's so funny. And Chris is like, yeah, we told me to go for it. You know, you're just going to send it over, mate. You know, just going to get over this. And then I come up, I see this, like, I don't know if it's an argument or if it's banter. It's kind of in between. And then and Jacob's like, well, like, tell him. And I said, oh, yeah, it's pretty hard to judge, you know. So it's, you know, we're in this situation. So, you know, your pedal might have got pressed a bit too much, but it's okay. We'll get you out. And then my brilliant idea of putting these max tracks in this way ended up making it so much harder in getting the car out, to the point where I was worried about damaging his car, because now all of these max tracks are wedged up. Like one was
underbody.
One was in a leaf pack, one was going over the diff, one was everywhere.
Because of the speed Chris hit it at though as well.
But I think it might have happened anyway.
Yeah, okay.
It would have happened anyway. Yeah, and then like trying to pull them out now the max tracks, because they got so much grip, they're trying to pull the earth with them, and we've done a really good job in packing it all in. And there was even more tension on the line than before, and I was like, fuck, this is not good.
Yeah.
And I could hear it. His prop shaft was even driving around, and these are max tracks extremes, so you can hear the metal on metal, and this just sounded horrible. And I was like, nah, stop. And then we had to figure out how to get one out to get the other out. Man, that was tough. So the remaining tracks we had 14 tracks in there, 14 max tracks. So the remaining 3 or 4 tracks, we had to use them to sort of like, you go a bit this way, and then you go a bit that way, and then maybe this way, and then maybe we can pull that one out, and that took ages.
Jeez.
So we started getting these tracks out, and then finally got them out, but then we had to look for all these tracks. So we're digging for another half an hour.
Far out. What time is this?
Now it's about 11 o'clock.
Oh, shit, right.
Yeah. And we were there at sunset, which was about 5:30. Maybe 5 actually, because we're pretty far east. You know, the sun goes.
Yeah. It's a long haul.
So we're 6 hours in, and we're at the stage where we finally got them out, find the max tracks. Everyone's freaking exhausted.
Everyone's on the other side now.
Of that. Yeah. So I got Rafa past me. We found this like okay spot. I was like, go slow around. Yep. Got Rafa past me, and then I'm sitting there now in reverse. And a car doesn't steer too well in reverse.
Yeah.
I can't really see anything. So all the magnetized lights we had that still had power in them, I put them all in the back of my car. And then I'm like in the car, Chris is in front of me. And then I'm start reversing. And then it's like, I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. No. Because I was off the edge. And I was like, no. So lockers in, go forward. Okay, I'm out, but I'm going to need to give it shit. And like, so I'm in the moment here. So I'm like, okay, rear locker in, front locker out. And I'm like, Rafa, get out of the way. Go. And then like, I'm just moving backwards, like as fast as I can in low range reverse. And I can see Rafa he's not really moving too fast yet. I'm like, get out of the fucking way. Just go. And he's like, oh, okay. So he's going, he doesn't know what's going on because he can't see, right?
Yeah.
I'm just a reversing car. And then Chris turns his lights off. And I'm like, put your lights back on. I can't see anything. So I'm using his high beams to see where I'm going. I'm like, follow me as well. I can't see. So I'm like just popping in and out of these ruts, just going backwards. And then once I realised, yep, I'm getting closer to rocks, I started like to steady it up a bit and just slow down. Because that section I was in, I couldn't go slow. I was starting to bog down.
Jeez.
So finally got out. And then we cooked dinner on the rock.
Midnight.
We cooked dinner on the rock where I initially got to, like 5 hours ago.
Oh. It honestly makes me feel like tired thinking about that. Like, it's like, how do you stay in the moment for, like,
Yeah.
for that 5 hours that because you're working, like, you're working hard to get those cars out of the bog, and it's just like 5 hours of it is tedious.
It is, man. And then you're kind of like delusional afterwards a little bit,
Yeah, 100%. It's reminded me. So that story has reminded me of then, obviously, Chris getting bogged up in Shark Bay. But Jaden, can you get onto Jack Graham's Instagram, please? One of my teammates has been up Shark Bay recently. A couple of them went up, and it's reminded me of another Shark Bay bogging that I think you'd enjoy seeing the photo of, because similar story. Like, the boys were stuck there for so long by themselves too, like trying to get this thing out of there. But it's got me thinking. Like, I honestly, 5 hours of that is like, it blows my mind that.
Time just goes, man.
Yeah, but
Just,
you're on, like, you'd have a headache.
You do a few headaches the next day.
100%. I reckon that no doubt that you'd have a headache from that.
It's funny because, like, you fade and then, the slight beef jerky come out.
Yeah.
Then everyone's lifted again.
Yeah.
And then then someone gets out of a situation and you're like, yeah, and then it goes down again. Oh, this is fucking roller coaster.
It's a cool moment to share, though, with those people involved.
It is.
Like,
it is.
And we get to see it, obviously, through your channel. But, like, for you guys in the moment, in that situation, like, cool moment. Like, for Jacob, first time, comes back and gets to
Mark's
explain
first time,
Mark's first time. That moment, like, crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it would have been, like, mind-blowing for him,
Yeah.
Because, Jacob, I think for Jacob and Chris, it's like another Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Jacob made a funny joke. So, because all this was filmed, right? So they're on the other side still. And Jacob's flying the drone home. And then he looks at the camera and he goes, well, Ronnie's made it across. And this is where we get stuck in the middle of a Salt Lake at night and Ronnie has to come back and save us.
Yeah.
And he's like, he tells me this afterwards. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't say anything like that again.
Good content. Good content. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
Look at that.
Oh, man. That would have taken ages, man.
So the funny thing about this, right? So Fridge, Jack Graham, which is Fridge.
Oh, you're blocking the shot.
Is that how long we've been going? Where are we? Can you take your notes? Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Jay. So I'll keep this brief because we've gone a long time here and we've got some voice messages. But after that epic story that reminded me of this, which is very funny because you had teamwork, right?
Yeah.
You had everyone involved.
Is he by himself?
No, so he had one of my other teammates with him. I won't name. I will name him. It was Elijah Hewitt. For those that are West Coast people listening, Jack Graham and Elijah Hewitt. Elijah's not done any of this in his life. So apparently the Fridge has gone down in this. You can see the light sort of fading. This is their first night away. First night up in the Shark Bay area. Gone down here, getting dark, like on the verge of getting dark, that sunset. Anyway, apparently Fridge, his nickname's Fridge, he's been trying his best to get out of this for like however long, digging max tracks, moving an inch and whatever. Meanwhile, Huey's sitting there saying, "Come on, Fridge, get it out, mate. Like, just get it out." No idea like how hard this is actually. And apparently Huey just sat there like spraying Fridge about getting the car out because he wanted to get to camp.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Set down for the night. But the boys were worried because they tough spot to be in without help.
Man,
So,
that is a really tough spot to be in.
That's a good bog.
How many tracks has he got there?
I don't know how many he had with him. He's obviously got 2. We can see 2. I don't know if he had 4.
We can see 2. If he only had 2,
Yeah.
that could almost take twice as long.
Yeah, like-
because you know when you go over them,
Yeah.
they're in the ground now.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man,
It's
Yeah.
funny. So teamwork, your
Teamwork.
situation, teamwork. This situation, no
Yeah,
teamwork.
no, when you're on your own like that, it's tough.
Although Elijah would be entertaining.
How long did it take?
I think I can't remember, but I think it was the number I've got in my head is about 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
But
he's done well to
because
get
I
out
don't
of
think
that.
he's far off.
He's not far off the
He's
dry
either
lane,
not
though.
far off getting out or he's not far off being in, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
it's just dropped
yeah.
off. So I don't know what way they ended up going, but
It looks like he would have gone forward there.
yeah.
Because he's just about to
Setting
nudge up. You see that deep hole next to him? Like
Yeah.
where his feet are,
Yeah.
that's below the wheel.
Yeah, his belly button is at the side step, basically, almost. Yeah, but it's funny, like those boys, just the way they came back. They said because it was their first night in Shark Bay, first time for both of them up there. So excited about the trip, they've made it up, big drive, whatever. Had a look around that day, and then they're looking for camp, and the spirits apparently just went diving. But anyway, hey, we better get to some voice messages. We've
I'll tell you
what you built for us there, Ronnie. I can't wait to see like that.
I can't wait to see
image.
myself.
I've got this sick image in my head at the moment from that story. Like I reckon I might even like have it in the way you explained it. I reckon I've got it in my head, and I've seen no photos, no videos of this, no footage, but I reckon I've got a pretty good picture in my head now.
I hope it did it justice.
And I think there's some great lessons in it, which I'm sure we will see through that when you release that on your channel. But I reckon there's going to be like, obviously the tough dog one, the slow down.
Yeah.
You know, do you find a leader? Do you delegate? Do you take turns? Whatever it might be. Like there's lessons in this.
Yeah. There was a big reality check for me actually.
Yeah.
I might just share that one because I'm not sure if I'll put it in the video.
Yeah.
But at one stage, like we were so defeated, I made the call to look, guys, you wait here. I'm gonna grab my axe and my glove, and I'm gonna walk back, and I'm gonna get those side steps. I don't want any of you guys to come with me. Just stay here. All right? Sounds dumb already.
Yeah,
and it is
a little bit
now
worried about you there.
I didn't realise how far back to offer. It'll be half a kilometre, maybe a kilometre. But I thought if I can get those side steps, holy shit, that's going to get us so much further.
Yeah.
So I get about 300 metres, and I can hear my daughter. She's hysterical because she's obviously worried about me.
You've mentioned this actually, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, don't try and be a fucking like a hero, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, that's stupid, you know? So I turn around and then I come back and then I realised also that it's probably like 3 kilometres away, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think my torch is going to last that long.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that was a dumb move.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. Mate, thanks for sharing. But I reckon
so dumb decisions do, when you're desperate.
Yeah, when you're desperate. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've got so many like links to football there, like when you're desperate or when you're different situations.
Yeah,
make you react, but at the actual learning in it all is like
you're going for that Hail Mary.
Yeah,
kind of
you don't have to do that. You just we use it in footy. Like you just keep playing the way that you've been playing, like either good or bad. Like you stick to what your process is, sort of thing.
You stick to the team process.
Yeah. Like you can go all day on this topic, but it's like, when emotions are heightened either way, it's like try to bring yourself back to the middle somehow to be clear and concise. And, anyway. Go all day about that.
No,
It's a good reality check.
It's a good, that's a good analogy. Yeah. It's surprising. It's like, well, what was I even thinking? Like seriously.
Yeah. That's good to own it though. Like,
yeah, but
probably getting a bit deep here, but like you if you're always learning about yourself as a person, like it's a good learning. You got to open up to that stuff. 100%. I'll get it weekly. I do.
Maybe that's what I'm chasing, mate.
All right, let's get to around the fire pit. We've gone a while there. We've got a wicked picture painted. Can't wait to see it. Around the fire pit, Jaden, what do you got for us?
Good, mate. Got a few.
Good, mate. I didn't ask, but anyway.
Good.
No, I was just saying.
Are you awake back there?
Mate, I was saying good, as in like good. Let's get to around the fire pit. Not
mate.
good, like how you going?
No, I'm good too.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. No, good. We've got a few email, a couple emails, couple voice messages, sorry, and an email.
Yep.
So let's get cracking. We got this one from Gavin. Guys, need to give you some information on the Telstra satellite phone function. So we talked about this a little while ago. I don't think Ronny was here, but Telstra have started they've launched a satellite messaging service and it was for Samsungs only. Gavin is here to say Samsung was the first phone they released last week. So this was 13th of June. So 2-3 weeks ago now, they released it for a lot of the iPhone models. And I've just had a look at this. So they've released it for the iPhone 13, 14, 15, and 16, all models of that. And the Galaxy S25 series as well. So all models of that. Great feature that allows any phone on a Telstra plan, no special plan required to enable satellite messaging. This brings satellite capability to all people for no extra dollars. And this comes on top of the iPhone being already able to share Find My Location via satellite and emergency SOS capabilities. Personally, this had me change from Optus to Telstra, and I already have a Starlink Mini from Gav. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually, Gav sells it.
Yeah, makes it a lot better having a bit more information about it and not being limited to Samsung's only.
Yeah.
So yeah, it being available to Samsung's and iPhones going back to the 13, very, very good. So yeah, it's I don't think we ever said it was a bad system. It was just a shit launch, I think.
We were questioning. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't really done well, was it? Because
No.
I was here when we spoke about it.
Yeah, you were. That's right.
Yeah, interesting. So I wonder if they're piggybacking off Starlink satellites.
They are, yes. Yes, that is, that's the way they're doing it. So they're going off Starlink,
Yeah.
direct to cell satellite network, and they're just using it for SMS.
Yeah. So that's actually quite clever, really, because, okay, so imagine someone getting lost in the bush, right? Hopefully they haven't exhausted their phone.
Yeah.
And it just saves emergency workers time, but also puts them at less risk as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I like it. Really, really good system. If you don't have Starlink, you're not paying for that and you're not turning it on and off, blah, blah, blah. Really, really good system. Really like it. So I'm glad there's a bit more information on it and that they're not limiting it to the S25. Maybe they never were, and what we saw was just misinformation or something. But yeah, what we saw was on the Telstra website. So
oh, right, it was on Telstra website. Okay,
Yeah.
because normally it's like, some newspaper will run something, and it's like,
nah,
we can say this information like this, and then
straight
it'll
from
sound like that.
Telstra.
Yeah.
Straight from Telstra. It's probably just the wording, the way they worded it or whatever. But
Well, Telstra needs some help with their marketing.
yeah, I'm glad we've
that was
been.
shit.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I'm glad we've been proven wrong. So thank you, Gav.
And speaking of misinformation, can I just go back to the Ford Ranger Super Duty really quickly? Because
No, sorry, mate.
It's been
Nah.
bugging me
No, you can't.
all show, and I've been waiting for this moment. The length I think I said 5'9" is incorrect.
Okay.
So, because I checked the RAM and stuff, and I was like, it's exactly the same. It's
Yeah.
not. The length ranges from 5.2 meters to 5.4 meters.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry about that, people. Hopefully you're listening still, and you heard that at the start, and now you get the answer. But
It's no longer a pencil case.
yes, so it is more compact than what we would.
Yeah.
But the width and the track width and all that is about right.
About right or right?
Well, yeah,
Come on, mate.
it's about right. If you want me to double check that, this is actually on the Ford page, by the way. So the length I didn't find on the Ford page, but the other stuff is
You just found a girth.
actually there.
Oh,
Yeah, I found
The
it.
girth, the jack off canopy reference. Nice.
There's track width is 1710, so 1710 mil.
Yeah.
Wading depth is actually 850 mil. We didn't cover that.
No, we didn't cover that.
Ground clearance up to 299 mil.
Would
That's
you
about all they're showing you though.
would you jack off on that or a
Oh,
Tasman?
easy Tiger.
Oh,
Oh, Tasman.
I think you'd have to.
Definitely
That's tough.
definitely the Kia.
Oh, yeah. Mate, you're just jacking off on the
Hey,
Kia
I'm loving
ads.
this thing. I'm just looking at it thinking, holy, this is cool car.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
good.
sorry.
Anyway,
back
voice
to around the
messages.
pipe.
Here we go from Matthew.
Maddie.
Come on,
Hello.
Matthew.
Hello. Yes, I have a question.
Good morning, gents. Matthew here. I am a bit of a car nut. That goes for full drives as well as just normal cars. I know quite a bit about different full drives and models, specifically Toyotas, Nissans, and what have you. Especially like overseas models. So I can tell you that for example, you're asking the other week, did new 70 series even have the V6? So I can reveal to you that they do.
Mm.
So this is in like lower emission states like the Middle East predominantly. So you'll see not only the one GR motor, which is the 4 litre V6 in the 70 series, but also the Hiluxes as well. Um, and with the 70 series in particular, you'll find that they actually have the correct track width for off-road, so you don't have to do any diff correction like you do in Australia's model for the V8. You can actually find some being imported now from Japan.
You're joking. Wow.
That's, the track correction's huge.
Fuck, that's a bombshell. Wow. I did not know that. That is crazy.
Thank you, Matthew. Good info.
Wow.
Are they,
What the fuck?
So track correction, are they diesels, those 4 litre V6s?
No, they're petrols.
Petrols,
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So, because I was talking to Rafa about this, because I was like, how come you're getting the 4 litres in Venezuela and other places in South America? He's saying that they don't get the car there from Toyota; they buy them from the Middle East and get them there.
Right.
So I think even Prados, I could be wrong about that one. I think even the new Prados can also be the 4 litre
4
petrol.
litre petty.
Yeah, the same petrol I had in the N70. It's a bloody good motor.
Yeah. And you're shocked by this track correction.
I am
That's-
shocked by the track correction that they actually what he's saying is they actually make them. Toyota actually make them
Yeah.
and put them on V8s in another country. What the?
So
What?
annoying.
Oh, it is annoying.
That's ridiculous.
It is very annoying.
Uh,
Good
It's
info.
not
by
left-hand
Matthew
drive over
though.
there, is it?
Yeah.
Though?
Have they got shares in the bloody aftermarket sector here or something?
Yeah.
Hey?
Probably.
What do you reckon?
Probably.
What the hell,
sense.
man?
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't Why wouldn't you put the correct diff in?
Money.
Money.
Money? What's money?
If they've got shares in the aftermarket place over
Yeah,
here,
I don't think.
you
they
know, if
would,
it
though.
costs them more money to do it here,
Okay.
they're making more cars. If they're making less cars with track correction over there, I'm just devil's advocating it. I don't know. I agree,
like,
mate. I think
they
it's
could,
dumb.
They could make bank on that shit. They could
Yeah.
go, hey, by the way, we just developed the diff that actually corrects the track.
You know why they don't do that, don't you? Didn't you have like a spy tell you?
No, I know why they didn't do it in the first place, because they were just making the cars for the mines, right?
Yeah, they didn't bother.
Yeah, they were actually going to put the 4.2 in because, it's just going to the mines, right? But then the problem came up that, well, what if a mine sells the car afterwards? We got no control on that. And then all of a sudden we're flooding the market with Land Cruisers that don't meet emissions. So we have to put a V8 in it. So that's what happened. So therefore they put the V8 in and they're like, oh shit, we need to widen the axle now. Never mind the rear axle. It's just for the mines, So those cars were never intended for the streets of
Streets.
Australia.
Jeez. Okay. That is interesting.
But if we had the same emissions as the Middle East, we wouldn't even have the VDJ. We'd have the 1GR still.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't it funny, right? The population here is so small, and yet our pollies are going on about fucking emissions. We make bugger all. Like our footprint is tiny. It's so minute. Yet we mine coal and send it overseas, but we're getting punished here for those emissions. What is it? It's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Bullshit.
Quickly ask the next question.
G'day,
Dave.
Ronnie. Just wondering how you're cleaning / washing and protecting the engine bay of your 48-volt Prado, whether you're just doing the normal wash down with a hose while the engine's on or off, or any form of lanolin or corrosion protectant as well. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Oh, this was no joke. If we didn't naturally get a tough dog tip of the week today, I was gonna ask that question in a broader term, but that's just funny,
Okay.
ironic. Jade and I had not talked about that.
Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's not me, by the way. I didn't ask that, Duggo.
No. I'm just saying, we didn't plan to play that question and leave that out. But anyway, there you go.
That's a good question because I haven't driven through anything yet that will require me to wash it like that yet. So I imagine when I'm just trying to picture myself now. Yes, I've driven through some mud, and now I want to wash the engine bay. I'll probably go, what do I do? I think I just wash it. Yeah.
No extra special
No.
gear? No.
No.
We still got that bucket here.
Yep.
What was that called?
Jeez, you tell me.
If they make a car like that and they're not confident that you can wash it, obviously without putting the pressure hose right on it.
Groundswell wash.
If they're not confident that you can wash the car with the engine bay while the engine's going, you know, obviously not being stupid, but like just spraying it around, then I wouldn't want that car. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I know that the development of that 48 volt motor, if you look at how, because I've done a video to explain how it all works for all the dealerships. So anyone can access that video because it's just on YouTube. So I found that I got a link sent to me by someone, and that explains like what happens when you go through water. Like it's designed to go through water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you're in low range, the 48 volt system doesn't do anything. It goes dormant. That's the motor behind, but that big alternator that still goes. So in that sense, it can do water crossings according to Toyota. So I would just wash it. But with any car, don't put the high pressure close to anything, really. It shouldn't be like if it's going to hurt your foot, you know, because you can take skin off with it, then you're too close.
I probably should take a leaf out of that book then.
Yeah. Look,
I'll just get up there.
Well, in the wheel arches, it might happen, you know, that you go in there, you know, like that. But you just got to be careful, like especially, you know, like CV boots, swivel hubs even, anywhere where there's a grease point, just don't hit it too hard with.
Yeah, okay.
And especially soap as well, don't really want that on it. So generally speaking, when I go around the car, if there's a shitload of mud on it, I'll spray it with the soap first.
Yep.
Then I'll come through water and I'll just hit it with water. The outside of the car, I'll hit it with soap, then hit it with water. I will not use that brush. But with the PPF, I avoid as much as I can any of that soaps and stuff because I got special soap for that.
Yeah.
Because that can harm the warranty.
Right.
Because they can't control what solvents are in these soaps.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like a pH neutral soap thing. It leaves less streaks and stuff. It's just, Plus, I even now filter the water through a caravan filter before I spray the car.
Really?
Yeah, because you know how you get those little calcium spots around? It's such a pain to get off.
So your car is washed with filtered water?
It's just like a caravan filter. It's just a big, cheap filter.
Yeah,
it doesn't take it all out, but it takes most of it out.
There you go.
And then you can hose the car down and you don't get that. You know, like when you get that, what's it called? The streak-free rinse or the car wash. All it is distilled water or filtered water probably. It will be with filtered water.
There you go.
You know?
Your car's getting a better wash than I am.
Oh, jeez.
I only just learned this recently. Hey, I actually heard of a bloke who washed his 200 series with you know those dish scourers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, scratched the car.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's on him, man.
Yeah.
You can't be that silly.
Yeah. You shouldn't even use them on bloody non-stick pans, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's silly
On the
behaviour
non-stick
there.
time
That's
series.
silly behaviour.
Yeah, well, that's sticky.
All right, boys. I feel like we are at the natural end of our podcast here.
We got that was a long one.
It was a long one, and it was a bloody good one. If I don't mind saying so.
Yeah, I don't mind saying so. All right, let's get out of here. Please get over to our
new
YouTube channel, the Four Wheel Drive Podcast. That's where we are. And apparently, it's not too hard to get onto now. So
No.
head over there, subscribe. It'll just be us. No other BackChat stuff.
Yeah, no footy stuff.
No footy stuff. Just the purists, you know,
Purists.
over here. So get on board. Southern River Band, Let It Ride, or see us out. The Four Wheel Drive Podcast on Instagram still. All our episodes. You know where it is. Patreon, stick around. We might have a little scoop for you. And the merch voice messages. The Ultimate Forward Drive.
One
we
question?
haven't forgotten about it.
One question. Are all the episodes that were done, are they on that channel now?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
So take that what you will. Just search us up wherever you
I was
can get
listening
whatever
to
you need. Really. Isn't that right, Dave? See ya.